Amanda here from Create Your Future. Guys, I've got Carolyn joining me today. Hey, Carolyn.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hey, guys. Oh, sorry. Yep. I'm just diving in now. So, because we have so many new subscribers, just want to introduce myself. My name's Amanda. I'm a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, EFT practitioner, a hypnotherapist, as well as a certified life coach. And I believe Carolyn shares all those qualifications with me as well. And guys, you know what? We have a free course, How to Find Your Blocks to Manifest Anything Fast. It's completely free. I created it. It's going to help you to be able to build your mental diet and help you with any sort of pitfalls. A common one we have is questioning. Guys, remember, I'm not talking about questioning what is SATs, what is thoughts transmission, and that sort of thing, which is what this video is about, thought transmission today, guys. We're going to answer your questions and more. But like, you know, questioning whether or not your specific person wants to be with you or not, questioning whether it's possible to manifest something. So it's going to help you to build your mental diet and possibly see where maybe you've been blocking yourself and preventing it, because this is just a game of getting yourself out of the way, right? So, and guys, you know what? Carolyn right now, she has 2 new exciting services, EFT sessions, as well as hypnotherapy sessions. I believe in both of them 100%. They are absolutely amazing to get into your subconscious. I remember when I did EFT for the first time, the therapist that I was talking to got me in the state that, you know, of what was bothering me. And then by the time they got to like tapping to like my chin, I like the emotion just melted away. Like it is seriously emotional freedom technique. Like it definitely gives you freedom from your emotions. So it's really going to help you if you're the type of person that's reacting. We're going to tap that out of you, okay? And also Carolyn's hypnosis tracks are on sale right now with Save 50, and they're absolutely amazing. And I love the hypnosis. I mean, I'm a hypnotherapist myself. I believe in it. I know a lot of you guys do too. But you can always do regular coaching with us, which I've gotten a lot of questions of what this is what we do is we help you find an action plan, we point out your blocks, and we give you some intentions and, you know, an action plan to really stick to, right? And, you know, remember, coaching is an ongoing thing. You know, sometimes it does take a few sessions. You're like a layer of an onion. We need to know what you're thinking to help you change your reality, because your thoughts is what's creating your reality. No 2 people create a third party the same way. How are you creating what you have in your reality, right? So we're here to help you. And yeah, we're always having sales on something or other. So that's amazing. Yeah, thank you for being here. Wow, that was my intro.
Beautiful intro. Thank you. So yeah, we Amanda was here in town, and we wanted to do some shorts for you guys, and we were just having so much fun that we just forgot. We were just playing around, and so we were like, okay, we're gonna do just a video instead for you guys. So today we want to talk about thoughts transmission, because we get a lot of questions about it, and kind of explain what it is and how it all works. So the theory, how do you describe the theory behind thought transmission before we give an example? How would you go for?
Well, you know, I like to point out from like something tangible. So Neville Goddard, I prefer his explanation on it. And so if you look at his book, Prayer, the Art of Believing, it's chapter 5 under thought transmission. And what he explains is that you're basically a broadcasting tower. All of your thoughts are constantly broadcasting out to everybody in your reality, you know, into your, say, your quantum bubble, or into, you know, the quantum field of pure potentiality, right? Your thoughts, your energy is constantly being radiated out. Another, like, maybe I'll touch on this, right? You know, in Christianity, when I learned about the Holy Ghost, well, that's thought transmission, right? Like this Holy Ghost is out, you know, doing your bidding through God, which, you know, Neville explains as God is yourself. So however you want to look at it, it doesn't matter, right? You know, I mean, I know Wiccan witches, they like create spells. Again, thought transmission, okay? Basically, no matter what you believe, your thoughts are being broadcasted out into your little world, okay? Nobody can send thoughts into you. It's only your thoughts going out, because you're the only one in your reality. That's the way you need to look at it, okay? Everybody's got like their own little bubble of their own, okay? And the only one that you're concerned with is you. And the only way that you can look at it is that you are basically sending out your thoughts. So like a common question we get is, well, what happens if 2 of us are manifesting the same person? Whose thoughts win? My answer to you is, well, who do you think's going to win? It's your reality.
Exactly.
You think that? Them, right?
Right. So when you want to manifest your specific person, what instead of questioning what is my specific person, my SP thinking and worrying about what they're thinking about you, you forget about that. They're not thinking anything. It's empty. And you decide. The power is you. What do you want them to think? Do you want them to reject you, or do you want them to love you? And then you stick to that story. And that's the thought you emit, that tower that we're talking about, you emit that thought to them. And now it's like you implement that thought into their mind. That's what they're thinking about you. But it's you making that decision, right? That how we would see it.
Exactly. Carolyn's exactly right. You're constantly, putting things out there in your reality. Okay. Like, I mean, I see it endless times, I think it's important to note, and I hear this a lot, is everyone is you pushed out and thought transmission. It's a technique. It's not a technique. It's actually the mechanism behind law of assumption, law of attraction, everything. It's the mechanism behind it, right? Your thoughts go into, I don't know, what do they call that? Like the Planck field or something? I don't know. And it's like the pure potentiality, and your energy will, change it to change your reality. I don't claim to be a quantum physics expert. Okay. I know that my thoughts create and positive thinking works, but your thoughts go out and they alter what's in your reality. I remember I had like my fridge on a pedestal, and I love this fridge that I got when I first moved in here. And, I was constantly worried about it breaking. And guess what? The ice machine broke. The only thing I liked on the fridge, right? Because I was so worried about it all the time. So everything, even your car, your fridge. And then I intended I would get an even better fridge. And I did, so everything is constantly overhearing your thoughts, and your reality is constantly molding to your thoughts. Neville said, and I don't know, I mean, this is just a metaphor. Okay. This isn't like real, but everybody is vacant. They're not there behind their eyes. They're just robots doing what you're putting out there. Of course, if that metaphor doesn't work for you, don't take it. But, my point is you can't look at it from any other point of view. You can only look at it that you're the only one with consciousness in your little bubble, right?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it just reminds me, I had a little experience with my daughter over the weekend. She was complaining that she didn't like how she looked, her dresses. And she goes, and my outfits never look right. And I said, no, you do. I mean, just, instead of complaining, just put yourself together and just affirm that you do look stylish. And that way you already have that mind frame, and then it will help you to conform, not only that you will look stylish, but it will also help you create that you will come up with the right outfits for you. So I put her in front of the mirror and just say, I'm stylish. The next morning we go out to breakfast, and the waitress looked at her and she goes, oh, you're so stylish. I used the exact word, reflected to her. And she looked at me with the big eyes, and I was laughing. So these are little things that you can play with, because when you have someone play back to you the exact words that you were practicing, like for her the night before, it's just little reminders. This is how it works. So when you want to do it with your specific person and you think this is a huge mountain, how am I going to overcome this? Well, play it with things that seem more, just easier to do, stuff that don't matter so much, because it works all the time. That's just, it's not that it works, that's just the way it is, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then life will show you all the time. And as you notice, it will build your confidence and remind you, oh yeah, that's right. Like your fridge. Oh yeah, I said that. Sure enough, it broke. Oh, stylish. Yeah, I said it. Here it is. That's right. That's how it works. And then you build up your confidence. Now you use it to create purposely for what it is that you want, but like more important stuff, your job, your money situation, your health, your love life, your marriage, your pregnancy, right?
It is so true, exactly. And you know what, one day I was reflecting, okay, and I've heard, in the law of assumption, it's woo woo, right? And I was meditating on that one day, and I thought to myself, I'm like, this isn't so woo woo. Like, when you start a business, they tell you to write a business plan. What do you think you're doing? You're actually putting into writing, your goals and how your business is going to be and how you're going to market and how you're going to do all these things. Like, I mean, you know what, SMART goals. I mean, boom, you're doing the same thing there, right? Like, no matter if you believe in this or not, right? Your thoughts are always out there creating, and you don't turn it on, you don't turn it off. It's constantly happening. I love Carolyn's idea, create that little list of things, that someone says you're stylish, that someone says this, that someone says that, because when you start to see these things, like, then you'll get how important it is to stay on top of your thoughts. Like, I tell you, sometimes I'm just like way off course in my thoughts, and all of a sudden I'll sit down on the couch and I'll think of something, and then Andrew will say it, and I'll be like, okay, you know what, Amanda, you need to get on top of your thoughts here. And a lot of times we don't see the correlation between what's reflecting back in our thoughts, because we're not listening to our thoughts, and we've got so much static and other stuff playing in there that we're not consciously aware of it. But when we calm down, get still, okay, and listen to ourselves, and we shut off a lot of that chatter, and we actually listen to what we're creating and see what's showing up in our reality, we will see that, it is our thoughts that are showing back up. And a really good way to do that is say, look, I intend to see how my thoughts are creating my reality. I intend to see proof that everyone is me pushed out. I intend to see proof that thought transmission really works. I think those are 3 incredibly powerful intentions, right?
Beautiful. Yes. And every time you see those proof, it just builds your confidence. And then as you go, now you have this conviction. This is it. This is my truth. This is how life works. And then every single day you create a bigger story, and everything gets just smoother and easier. Now you don't even have to think. It just becomes natural. That's the way, that's your state. That's who you are. You're a natural creator of becoming, my life unfolds easy. It's always easy for me, and it's always working out in my favor. That's it.
Exactly. And the funny thing is you can actually give your power away. And so, for instance, if you start saying, well, Jerry's got a mind of its own, then he's going to have a mind of its own. Like, you choose whether or not you keep that power, you give it away too. So be careful with that, right? So, you are the creator of your reality. You're allowed to have anything you want. You're allowed to be happy. Now, anyone out there that's going to say, oh, well, thought transmission, it's manipulating people. Oh man, what else do they don't want me? Okay, there you go. You just gave them the power to not want you. Now, I'll tell you what, whether you believe in this or not, okay, you have to think the person you're dating wants to be with you. Because if you don't think they want to be with you, then they're not going to want to be with you. So thought transmission isn't manipulating anybody. This has basically been happening your whole entire life, right? And it's always been happening. The only thing is now you're consciously aware of it. Okay. I also want to touch on one other thing. There is a video. So if anybody, is got any questions of what happens, if I had a terrible childhood, I've done a video on that. Leave it in the comments. I will link that video, about childhood trauma and stuff like that, if that's anything you're concerned of. Right. So just to touch on it quickly, I don't think you should hold yourself responsible and blame yourself for anything you've manifested when you were a kid or when you were not conscious of this. Actually, for that matter, I don't even think you should blame anything on you, even if you are a conscious manifester, because this isn't a blame game. This is supposed to be empowering information. And if you're in a blame state, then, there are some things that need to be shifted to get out of that victim mode, because you know what, you're powerful. You can be, do, and have anything you want, and we're not going to get it in victim mode. So, I just want to throw that out there because that is a common question that I see as well when it comes to thought transmission.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of people also say, I did have a terrible childhood. That is the reason why I wanted to create this type of life right now. This is what drove me to be so motivated to dig into for more information, to find a route that would allow me to be in charge of my life, to be the creator, to find out how to be the power, how to
Right.
be in power. So sometimes when we suffer, it is a source of motivation for how to get out of it and how to be motivated to never go back.
Well, exactly. I didn't come from peaches and roses either, right? And I've done a video, on childhood trauma as well, regarding to law of assumption, as well as, abandonment issues and stuff like that. I think the most important thing, and here's a therapy session in a nutshell for you. The point is don't take it personally. Okay. Don't take it personally, and don't lay any blame, because, we can't move forward if we're just constantly blaming ourselves for anything, and, as far as like, say, a little nutshell about the abandonment issue video I did, at the end of the day, right, so a parent abandons you. Now, if you say everybody I love abandons me, everyone's you pushed out, everyone you love has to abandon you. And we learn this in neurolinguistic programming, If you make a generalization that everybody you love does something, then everybody you love needs to do that thing. So what we need to do is we need to get specific and say, no, that one person did it, and that's their problem. It's not anything to do with me. I'm good enough. They didn't do that because there was anything wrong with me. And other people that I love don't do that to me. It was just that one person because they've got issues, right? And then you intend that they take responsibility for it and they change, because just because everyone is you pushed out does not mean that you're a doormat and you take the blame. And I think this is the biggest takeaway of this, is you need to intend that all the little people out there in your quantum bubble, if they do something wrong to you, even if you assumed it and they did it, you need to assume they take responsibility, apologize, or they're understanding and forgiving. You can't blame yourself, because guess what? If you blame yourself, everybody's going to blame you. And the secret with this, with thought transmission, is when you intend something or you assume something about somebody, they think it's their idea, not yours. So if you were like, oops, wrong idea, didn't like what they did, don't blame it on yourself. Say, no, I intend they take responsibility, they change it, right? So you've got to look at it like it's not like it's separate from you, even though nobody's separate from you. Like, everybody is one, right? They're all just players stay on your stage, and you need to move them and animate them how you want them to be, right? But you can't go, oh, that's it, you said the wrong line, it's my fault, because they're going to go, well, it's your fault. But we don't want that, right?
Well, absolutely. And with that, we have to always remember that every instant is a new creation. So if right now you create what you create a second ago, it's a new creation of the same. Meaning that if you remember what happened 20 years ago, it's not that you're just remembering what happened 20 years ago. You are creating in this moment the same thing as of what happened 20 years ago.
You know what? Oh my God. Yes. Okay. So you know what? So I was talking with somebody who feels like they know manifesting. Okay. And they were talking about, basically always getting hit on constantly. Okay. And they came over, I always get hit on, blah, 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 blah. And then the next week they came over, new story, new guy hit on them. The next week they came over, 3 other guys hit on them since then. And they were like, oh, these guys keep hitting on me. And I said, well, that's because you're manifesting it. And they said, no, I didn't say any affirmations. I didn't intend. And I said, guess what? Every time you tell me the story of somebody hitting on you, you're recreating it to happen. That's an affirmation. That's an intention. Guys, every single word is an information, an intention, and affirmation. It doesn't just turn off and on. Okay, I intend or I affirm. Those aren't magic words. They aren't. So if you want something to happen again, remember when it happened before, and you're just going to keep creating it to happen. So that's why we need to disconnect and have a really short memory for anything bad that's happened, sort it, get through it, figure it out, move on. Right. And don't ruminate in it too long, and really break those cycles, because your thoughts are constantly putting energy out into your reality, and whether that, flower grows in your garden or not, all depends on what you think. Right?
Absolutely. So if you love what you have, you can keep on thinking about it, because you can perpetuate. If you don't like it, change your story, change your thought right now, because right now it's a new creation and you can have a new thing.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's it.
Awesome. I think we covered all the points, eh?
Yeah, and it's all in your hands. You got that power. You have the power for you, and you have the power to think for, you know, how you want the other person to think about you, because you get to think and decide what they think about you. This is thought transmission.
Exactly. Exactly. So guys, that's amazing. Thank you, Carolyn, for being here. I intend everybody got something amazing out of this video. If you would like any personal help, Carolyn's definitely here to help you. And thanks for being here today, Carolyn.
Thanks, Amanda. Thank you, everybody. Until next time.
We'll see you in the next video.
All right. Bye.
Bye.